Welcome back to another episode of Bad Decision Garage. In the quest of me fixing more of my junk. And this junk here is a 2004 Chevy Tahoe that needs front end work, like ball joints, tie rods, pitman arm, idler arm. Let's see if... Okay, yeah, I can't really show you guys without unloading it, but this ball joint over here is about ready to fall out, and I just ain't about that life. So went online and ordered up a complete suspension kit. We got upper control arms. We got, what is that, either our pitman or idler arm. Our idler, I don't know what you call that. Our idler, the idler. Got our pitman arm. Oh, this is for the idler. That other one was the pitman arm. Some outer tie rods, sway bar links, and lower ball joints. So she'll be getting the full treatment, you know. Get her dialed in. Oh, and I got some new cam bolts for the upper control arm, so I can just cut these ones out if they don't want to cooperate. So this is going to be a real quick rip and tear apart and just put together, like not trying to save nothing. Most of it's getting replaced, so we're just gonna get after it. All right, first thing I think I'm gonna do, since we're doing everything, is I think I'm gonna do tie rods. Pop the outer tie rod and then just unscrew the inner tie rod. Don't mess with my length at all. I think I'm just gonna measure these up and try to set my new ones at them. So that way I can at least drive this thing to the alignment shop without having to, you know, get new tires instantly. So that's what I'm gonna do first. It's a 19 millimeter for the outer tie rod, and it's an 1 7/16 wrench for the inner. So I'm gonna get that done. I'll put you guys up on the tripod. Let's watch me fumble. Okay, and for the tie rod, just grabbing the impact, nuts off, cool, grab hammer, pop that guy loose, boom. And then now I'm gonna go and take the inner tie rod out by just undoing it. Jesus. He was like, righty tighty, lefty loosey, or something different? Okay. Oh, there it comes. There we go. Yep. Just like that. Just like that. All right, tie rod, inner and outer are out on this side. All right, we got our new inner and outer tie rod here and our old inner and outer tie rod here. I'm gonna measure from the face of the mounting of the outer or inner tie rod to the greaser, to the center of the greaser. Center of tie rod. Because the bodies of the tie rods aren't always going to be the same, but center to end should be the same. From center to end should be the same. So I'm going to measure the old one, and then I'm going to set up the new one the exact same length, and I should get my alignment close. And we got 15.25. So what I'm going to do now is take that measurement from the face of the tie rod here, even though I see that that's not 100% straight. Let's see if I can get that straight quick, because that other one was. Just a second. Jesus, she's stiff. Oh, Jesus. Oh. Be right back. All right. Let's make a measurement here. We're looking for 15.25. And we need to scooch in some. Still need to go in some. Need to actually go out just a fuzz. All right, I like that. And now I'm just gonna lock the locking nut down so that it can't really adjust anymore. After locking it down, just gonna take a measurement again, make sure we're still close. Perfect. That is our passenger side new tie rod assembly ready to go in. I'm gonna hold off on putting this in until later. We got so much more to do, this will just kind of get in the way. So it's just gonna hang out next to the side. I'm gonna go get the driver's side off and do the same exact thing. Not gonna bring you guys with that, I'm just gonna get it done. All right, so thinking about this more, I think what I'm gonna do is pull the brake caliper off, pull the rotor off, pull my CV axle nut, and then pop both ball joints and just get the hub assembly out of here, just since we're dealing with the upper and the lower ball joint. Like, we're gonna have to press the lower one in. It'll just make it easier without this in the way, and it probably will just be quicker than trying to work around it. So first things first is I'm gonna pop the caliper bolts out, and we will get the caliper out of the way. There's our caliper bolts. Put them somewhere safe. Gonna need wire cutter to cut these zip ties. There we go. Oh, I see we got a 10mm bolt up here for that line. We can grab that quick. Yep, figures. Cool. Let's peel the caliper off the rotor. And we'll just go hang him on this lower control arm since that's not actually going anywhere today. Alright, our hub centric ring. Don't lose that guy. Pull the brake rotor off. And there, we already have a lot more room. I already unplugged my wheel speed sensor off of the truck. Next will be to probably do the CV nut. There's that guy. And our washer. And cool, that moves freely. All that leaves left then is for the upper ball joint and lower ball joint nut. Lower one looks like a 24. At once upon a time it was. Yeah, we can get that guy up there. Alright, that's that. And then it looks like 18 or 19 millimeter wrench. Let me see here. It's an 18 millimeter wrench. I'll be right back. That boy is rusty. This whole thing is rusty. Long-winded it is, and rusty. Alright, and with that guy off, we can grab our... Actually, I have a tool to separate these ball joints, an air hammer with a pickle fork. We'll get that. Alright, and this is what I have to get these ball joints out. There's that one. And this one's fighting me. not to lose my caliper here. Also, there we go. Sure. Are we? Wow. That one does not want to give it up, so maybe some forceful hammer swings on it also will give us what we need to accomplish here. Hopefully. Get this wire up out of the way so that doesn't come crashing down and cut that. What should I do with the hammer? There it is. Whoa, you guys went for a spin. Alright, let's I guess try the air hammer again. Sure did work slick on the top one. Was that it right there? Wow, does not want to give it up. This is impressive. Normally they just kind of give them up after a while. Alright, got our CV axle out of the way more. Let's see if I can and there it is. Cool. Now with that out of the way, gives us complete access to be able to press out our lower ball joint and gives us all this room to play with while we do our upper control arm. So we'll just set this guy off to the side. Bang. Binga banga boomba. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can just air hammer out the lower ball joint quick. I've had luck doing it in the past. Let's try to see if my luck precedes me today. I'm doing right now is that like the factory ball joints, they're pressed in and then they just bend over the top some to kind of lock them in. So I'm just trying to beat back the bend over. Well, after that, you know, quick little process of, you know, removing the upper control arms, which included spending the next 4 hours and $60 worth of saw blades later. I ended up having to cut the cam bolts out for the upper control arm. That was not fun. I'll put a clip in now. Yeah, not recommended. It sucked. Spent about the last, like I said, 4 hours doing that. So next thing will be to install everything. As you can see, we got it all tore down where we're at, like completely blown apart. So first thing we'll probably do is press in the lower ball joint, just because we'll have room without the upper control arm there. Gives us room for our press and everything. Then we'll put the upper control arm in. Put that guy right there. I got some new cam bolts over here and plates, which, I mean, I marked the new ones in the same position that the old ones were in. Hopefully I can get to the alignment shop without, you know, squealing tires everywhere. Should be somewhat close, kind of like how I measured the tie rods. You know, like it's a guesstimation, not really a guesstimation, it's a close-imation. But I'm gonna get you guys up on a tripod and we'll press in this lower ball joint here. All right, let's press in this lower ball joint. I like to pop the boot off the ball joint completely, just so I don't have a chance of getting it caught up in the press, in the pressing motion. So all I do is kind of just pop the boot off and X-nay that from the situation completely. And then you gotta find a cup for the press that fits just right. Let's get that guy. Oh. Get that guy fitting more straight. Line that up in the lower control arm. let's get you guys looking at what we're doing here. There we go. Take the ball joint, line it up in the lower control arm. Put your top cup on the top side. Get your clamp portion. Get it snug and centered and everything. Whoop, there we go. And then, where did... Oh, this one. Grab the old impact and run it up till it's seated. Back the clamp off. Take the top plate off. The ball joint now is pressed in. They do have, this ball joint does have like a C-clip that's got to go on the top. I need to find that. And then a greaser, and ball joint will be installed. All right, we got our grease boot here. Our grease boot here that I'm just gonna slide up on there quick. Now that it's pressed in, don't have to worry about us tearing it. Also found our cotter key, our greaser, which we'll thread in now. Thread that bad boy in. Hopefully he points off in a somewhat reasonable direction. All right, and then our C-clip here, pretty much just need a pair of snap ring pliers and you just open it up and put it on. Make sure it's seated. Actually, we're gonna stack our new sway bar link in first, just because there's more room with nothing in the way here. Pretty much goes long bolt, washer, rubber, control arm, rubber, washer, steel pipe, washer, rubber bushing, and then since I don't have enough tension on it yet, I'm just going to toss the washer up here and toss the nut on for temporary, just to hold it into place. And then we'll compress this later, but this gets the majority of it installed. Yeah, something just like that for now. And we'll set this guy off to the side. I have it set up the same way on the other side, so like it'll be easy to just finish it off. It won't be a big deal. But all right, now we're gonna get to our upper control arms. Let's see here. Brand new in the bag. Get that guy out. Boom. Get them slid into place. Might need a little bit of persuasion to get it right into place, but you know, ain't nothing we can't deal with. All right, and then we'll take our new cam bolts that I got here. Once you get that shoved up into place, and then like I said, I marked my plates so they were kind of what they, I have them marked to where they were before I took it apart. Whether or not that means it's going to translate into anything, I don't know. And you see this front one we kind of got to sneak past this brake line here because I'm not trying to take that off the frame, so we'll just persuade that in. Look at that. It fits. And put this guy on, put that plate on, start the nut. Boom. Grab the rear one. And these plates index to these bolts. As you can see, there's a flat here and there's a flat in this plate that kind of locks it. So it kind of helps articulate where it goes. Okay, a little bit more persuasion, and why doesn't this bolt want to go home? There it goes. Alright, put the rear plate on. Put the nut on. And then we'll just kind of set them and snug them up for now. You tighten bushings when the weight of the vehicle is on it, otherwise you get a squeak. So we'll wait to do a full tighten, but we'll get them set so they're snug. Well, actually we'll wait to snug them up until we get the knuckle in even, because it'll help us get the knuckle in with this moving willy-nilly. There we go. All right. Get this nut out of the way and deal out of the way. All right. Next thing we're going to do is swing our hub assembly back up in place. And then, okay, I see how that works now. Okay. Yeah. We'll get this guy swung up in here. Grab the lower ball joint nut, get it just a couple threads started to hold this in place. Get our axle through our hub to spline with our hub. There we go. Something like that. Tighten this nut up some more. We'll actually probably do like a final tighten on that guy and get him seated and greased before we even do the top ball joint. So there we go. Run it up and just hand tighten for now. We'll get it tight here. Put your axle nut on also, just so that it kind of holds the axle into the hub. All right, and we'll start tightening this. Oh no, oh no, there we go. Oh no. Oh no, I think I might have just pulled my inner CV out. Let's see if we can get it to pop back in like it needs to. I think it did. Maybe. I don't know. Ooh, this is scary. I need to get that. Oh, there it is. Whew. Whew. Good, good. That was a close one. Okay. All right, yeah, we're gonna keep tightening this lower ball joint. I just had to pop the CV back together. It kind of pulled apart. Didn't tear the boot or nothing, so we're good there. Oh, it might be tight, is what it's trying to tell me. So I gotta figure out if we're lined up with a cotter keyhole or not yet. Figure out where my cotter keyhole is. Okay, we've just gotta go a little bit more. Just a touch more. Just a tickle bit more. Just need a tickle more. Perfect. Slide our cotter key home, bend him over, and then we'll actually rotate this and move it out of the way a little bit, and we're going to grease up our lower ball joint boot right away. Alright, nice and firm. Good. I see I didn't get my seal pushed all the way up and it just leaked out some grease, but that won't hurt nothing. Perfect. Alright, now that we got the lower ball joint tightened and greased, we'll get the upper ball joint in, and then we're going back together pretty nicely, to be honest. So, like I said, to get this upper ball joint to seat properly, we're gonna have to jack up the bottom of the hub, and because it don't fit, and I can't pull it down to make it fit because we're sitting on the frame. It's a thing. So we just grab the jack here. And let me, all right, just a little bit more. And there it goes in. Start your nut. Tighten that upper ball joint up. Just keep on tightening. Alright, just get this guy nice and tight. Boom. We'll do one more good pull, just to make sure. Yeah, torqued. I don't know what the torque spec is for that, but it's torqued. There we go. I'm happy with our CV axle here. Next thing is, like I said, let's kind of set these upper ones just slightly and snug them up for now. It needs to come down just a little bit more. Let's grab. Oh, I can't use. Okay. Let's see if we can make this work. Maybe that's the issue there. Oh, let me see if I can get this to adjust nicer. There we go. Maybe it'll adjust a little bit nicer now. It actually has room to go somewhere. Yeah. It totally adjusts nicer now that it has room to go somewhere. Alright. Snug that guy up some. Alright, and then this guy needs a slight right there. I mean, considering I'm jacking it up from the lower control arm, and it is off the jack stand now, that should be the same pressure as ride height, so I'm just going to tighten these upper control arm bolts all the way. They'll deal with this when they do an alignment, if it squeaks. There you go, that guy's tight. That's tight. Is there, and now there's plenty of room for me to do my sway bar link even, I'm pretty sure. So let's see if we can get that guy done too. Oh, maybe. Oh yeah. Just get a couple threads started, hell yeah. Push up on it a little bit, that'll work out just fine. Get a wrench and tighten that guy up too. Boom shakalaka. This is going good. All right, I went ahead and tightened up the sway bar link. 9/16. Guess the Detroit axle is all like, we're getting some American back in your Chevy for you. So that was different, that my metric wrenches didn't fit that at the time. Makes sense. Next, we'll get the rotor back on. And the brake caliper. Wonder where that, oh, there it is, okay. Oh, and then we also have to torque our CV axle still, but that ain't no big deal. We'll get the brake on first. Let's get that guy over here. Oh. Something like, get on there. There. Something like so. Where'd those bolts go? That's a really good question. Oh, there they are, under the tire. All right. Move that guy to the side so we got some access. Get some light down on this thing here. There we go. Oh, yep, maybe. Are we starting? Feels like it started. Nice. All right, where'd that other one go? There it is. Come on. Start. Dang it. Oh, there it goes. Nice. Okay. And then, oof, what size was that? I think that was our, oh, 18 millimeter. Cool. Grab the 18 millimeter, grab the torque wrench here. Let's make sure we do this right. All right. Torque wrench said good. All right. Torque wrench says we're good. Oh, brake is on. Nice. We're gonna have to get some zip ties to tie these brackets back down and stuff, which doesn't surprise me one bit. I don't think I've ever done a Chevy truck where I've been able to put the bolts actually back in. All right. Get this guy up here, get this guy right there. This guy needs to unhook from, I don't even know how that's possible. Okay, hook that guy there. And plug in wheel speed sensor. Yay! And there's probably somewhere that that's supposed to trying to find a hole in the dark. And there it is. Maybe. Sure, whatever, it's good. All right, next thing we'll do is torque our axle nut here. It's 177 foot-pounds on the old Chevrolet 1500s. So, we'll set our pry bar up in here. All right. We got a long ways to go before it's even torquing, so I'm just gonna let this baby rip. All right, I'm gonna have to stand up and do this. There we go. Axle nut is torqued. Wheel bearings and axle nuts are something that I actually do use a torque wrench with. If you had dug them, they do give you problems by burning up the wheel bearing. All right, we're gonna install our tie rod assembly next. And that guy just screws up. Oh, I made it worse. I'm gonna go turn the steering wheel the other direction and see if that helps. Let's see here, did that help us any? Oh, that helped us tremendously. We got all the rooms in the world now. Okay, just get this guy started. Figure out the angle of the dangle it needs. Come on. Starting to feel very, very special. Okay, maybe we don't want as much angle on this bad boy. Straighten that out some. See if we can even get it started. Come on now. Oh, I thought we had it. Wow. This one's really fighting me. Let's try that again here. Reset him. Just a little off center. Come on. Okay. Wow, this really did become hard now. There we go. Here we go. Finally got it started. Nice. All right, we'll just turn that guy in. Owie. Cotter key's sharp. We'll just pull that guy out for now. Sick of that already. All right, turn it in hand tight. All right, grab your big wrench and tighten her up. Oh, there we go. And now that that's tight, slide your grease boot back. Have him cover. Oh, I'll get this turned right way first. There we go. Boop. Then we can turn our, since I have the steering wheel turned all the way this way, we'll get her cranked over. Get the nut off of it. I don't even know if the truck is even supposed to turn this far. All right, I'm gonna go turn the steering wheel back a little bit, and hopefully that helps us dramatically. Oh, it looks like it fell into place while I was gone. That's cool. That's what we like to see. Yes, yes. Very nice. All right. Pretty sure that's an 18 millimeter too. It is. Oh. Right there looks good. And now right there's that cotter key. Get this cotter key to go in nicely. I don't know why it doesn't want to. Let me see here. A little persuasion. Oh, maybe not. Might just need a little bit more critiquing on the old nut a little bit. Let's see if that does it any better. Looks like our light's dying. That's always nice. Yeah, there we go. Now it slid through. And that guy over. And now we just got to come back and grease the inner boot and the outer one. So we'll do that quick. Oh, that got a lot stiffer to turn now that everything's connected. Alright, made a mess, but it also took it, so a win. Let me go grab a rag for that. Alright, wipe that guy clean. And then there's a greaser up here for this one, under the truck, that we'll get. There we go. Grease is seeping up past the boot. She's all greased up. We'll wipe that down so it doesn't swing everywhere. There we go. And this side is pretty much done other than a few zip ties now, which is good. All right. So other than a dying flashlight, a problem that we have is that this bolt here for this bracket snapped off, and this whole bracket just kind of floats around now. I don't like that. I think I devised a system that seemed to have worked on the other side. Let's see if we can get it to work on this side as well. It seemed to really like it on the other side, so I'm hoping that it works great on this side. Self-tapper screw. You see how it already has this, well, there's a little hole already in there for this pin. Let's see if I can. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, there's that hole. And then there's that pin. And just get it to kind of set in its home there a little bit. And then I'm going to take a self-tapper here. And I'm going to put it right next to this pin so that it's, We gotta get this guy out of the way. Get this guy right next to his pin in that hole, and we're just gonna shoot it home. Boom. Attached. Nice and tight like. Success. I'm happy with that. Put this clip back in place. Boom. Look at that. This side, both sides are done with upper, lower tie rods. Now the only thing I gotta do is the idler and pitman arm. But I don't know if I'm gonna do the pitman arm for sure, but we'll do the idler because that guy just unbolts and he'll be easy. So let's get under there and see what that's gonna take. All right, so under here we're after the idler arm, the idler, this thing here, we'll replace this whole unit, and the pitman arm, which is this guy. And I feel like we should be able to accomplish this. So first things first, we need to pull these cotter keys out of both of them and then get those nuts off and then get them separated so that the center link is disconnected from both of them, and then we'll move on from there. All right, got the old idler assembly out. It wasn't too bad of a pain actually. So we'll set up the new one, get it ready to go back in right away, and we'll just assemble it all as one unit like we took it out. Here is whoa. Okay, cool. I see what's happening here now. There we go, put the greasers in, grab a wrench to tighten this one up. I mean, we're putting dual greasers in, I don't know, maybe we'll put the plug in. No, we'll do dual greasers in case one of them's a piece of shit and it doesn't work, and then we got another one as a backup. You know what I'm saying? Dual greasers here. All right, and then we need our idler arm, the arm itself. Put this greaser in. Oh shit, I'm gonna have to find a socket for this one right away. She wants to bite. Alright, got that greaser tightened in there. We'll tighten this one down next. Sure, tight. Nice. Next thing we gotta do is join these together, like so. Put a big nut on it. And we'll hit that guy with the impact before we put it up there. Oh, is that the right nut? Or... we got came with two nuts. Couldn't imagine one is different than the other, but I might be wrong. Sure, we'll go with that one. All right, like I said, gonna grab a socket for that with the impact, tighten this up while it's off the truck, then we'll hang it up in there. Another big success was able to get the idler or the pitman arm off actually. ended up having to unbolt the steering box. I'll actually show you guys what I ended up having to do. But I ended up having to unbolt the steering box a little bit from the frame rail so it could slide over and actually get room to be able to get my puller up in there. Let me show you guys what I mean here. So those 3 bolts there, I loosened them up on the box so that way the box could move so that I could fit my puller up in here and actually get it, and we were successful. So next things next is put the new one on and put the center link back up, and this thing is done. All right guys, got all the new parts in and greased up. As you can see, grease everywhere, perfect. All I got left is to put this bullshit skid plate back on. That's good. That's good. Yeah, all I gotta do is put this front skid plate back on, and then we are done and ready to get this thing back on the ground. All right, guys, got the Tahoe done. Back on the ground. Got that front end kit in. It's the same for 99 to 07 Classic. Silverados, Tahoes, Yukons, any GMT800, that is how you do it. But now that we got that done, I do have to take it in for an alignment, which, cool, whatever. Front end should be good. They should be able to align it and shouldn't have any more issues with it. So I'm pretty happy about that deal there. Yeah, not a bad looking rig, really. You know, Duns. But thank you for watching Bad Decision Garage. As always, my name is Neil. Tune in next week. We'll have another project going. Not even sure what it will be yet, but tune in next week to see what we got going. Thank you for watching.